Normally I record these little intros after I've played the run and done the edit for the video, but this time I'm doing it beforehand, and that's because we're running a Pokemon that is going to be terrifying for me. We're running Ariados, and those of you who know me from stream know that I have a huge phobia of spiders, so please do wish me luck on this one, I'm gonna need it. Well, this run was a very tricky run for me to record. My phobia of spiders is so extreme that every time I'm saying the word I have to look around my room to make sure there are none near me. So having a representation of one on my screen for a couple of hours while doing this run really did freak me out at first. But the good news is I got through it, and this run is now in existence. I really did want to do this one last year. I got as far as getting my starter, giving it a nickname and doing the first battle, and then I noped out. But this year something fortuitous happened to me. I was sitting at my desk editing the Ursaring run and one landed on me, and I thought it can't get any worse than that, so let's just get this run recorded. And let's start off by taking a look at our stats. We are level 5 with 19 HP, we're holding a berry and our moves are Poison Sting and String Shot. We've got 12 in attack, 9 in defense, 10 in the specials and 8 in speed. So we're quite good in the attacking department, but we are very slow, and you can see that reflected on the base stat total graph as well. And as always, we'll take a look at the very first encounter we have with a wild Pokemon. This time it's a level 2 Pidgey and it takes 3 Poison Stings to knock it out, or we can be on our merry way to Mr. Pokemon's house. And as we're chatting with Mr. Pokemon and Professor Oak, I'm going to ask the same question I asked all of you this time last year. What phobias do you have? Are you very fortunate and don't have any? Or are you a little bit more like me and seem to have a phobia of nearly everything? Please do let me know, and if you did answer the question last year, let me know as well how you're getting on with your phobias. I personally have made a little bit of progress with my phobia of dogs, I made the progress with the spiders, and I am excited to see where we'll all be this time next year. But now, as we're battling the rival for the very first time, I will tell you I used the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Chikorita with Spinarak. The reason I chose Chikorita is because of that weakness to Fire-type moves, and we can see that with a little bit of assistance from the Poison status condition, we get through the Cyndaquil in just 3 shots. So now we'll have a little chat with the police officer at Professor Elm's lab and call the rival triple question mark, and we will be well on our way towards Violet City. As we're travelling north, we get a few random encounters and we find ourselves growing all the way up to level 11. At level 11 we're going to learn Constrict. Is it a good move? No. Is it a 4th move on the learn set? Yes. And there are some very rare circumstances where Constrict is actually going to be our best move option. But now that we're in Violet City, we've got a couple of bits and bobs to do, and the first thing we're going to do is ascend the Sprout Tower. At the tippy top of the Sprout Tower, Elderly is waiting for us. This is quite a slow and laborious battle. Bellsprout is of course neutral to poison type moves, and then Hoothoot is relatively bulky as well, but we are much better off doing this than even considering taking on Falconer's Gym before we've got the experience. After spending what felt like an eternity battling Elderly, we did eventually knock out his Hoothoot, and we defeated him to obtain the Flash HM and also get a couple of much needed levels. And now with the escape rope we can make our way out of there and into Falconer's Gym. This is our first gym together. Falconer is a flying type specialist and he leads with Pidgey. So he sends out the Pidgey and we use Poison Sting as that's still the best move we have on our learn set. It's 3 shots to knock the Pidgey out and we're on to Pidgeotto. We get very lucky poisoning on turn 1. We take it down into the yellow as he takes us down into the yellow on turn 2. A lucky poison in the berry knocks it out on turn 3 though. And we obtain the Zephyr badge in our first attempt in 12 minutes and 47 seconds. While our time might not be the best, the fact that we got through that without any resets at all makes me very happy. And with that badge acquired, we can start making our way towards Azalea Town. Just before we enter the Union Cave though, we're going to grab the Poison Barb off Frida of Friday, and we're going to be giving that to our Spinarak straight away. That's at least going to give our Poison Sting a 10% boost, and every little really does help in the early game. But now let's try and catch our HM friends. The first HM friend to show their face today is Psyduck, and as always Psyduck's going to be helping us out with Surf, with Strength, with Whirlpool and with Waterfall. And that of course means that the second HM friend we find today is Paris. Paris is going to be helping us out with Cut, with Flash and with Sweet Scent. And with both of those safely tucked away in our party, I decided to do a little bit more training here in the forest. We're only level 19 at the moment, and that is absolutely not going to be enough to get through the next part of the game. We really are going to struggle at Rival 2 because he's evolved, so I thought our best option would be to match him by evolving our Spinarak. We grow all the way up to level 22 thanks to all those lovely cocoon Pokemon, and we say goodbye to Spinarak with a frowny butt, and hello to Ariados with the ocarina butt instead. And I cannot think of a more serendipitous place to show off our new Bug-type Pokemon than in Bugsy's gym. He is a Bug-type specialist, our second gym leader together, and he's going to lead with Metapod. We still only have Poison Sting and Nightshade as our 2 attacking moves, and I have to give Nightshade its credit. It did a very good job in this gym battle. Nightshade takes off HP equivalent to your Pokemon's level, so we are able to guarantee 23 HP's worth of damage against all of these Pokemon. And that actually meant we were through this gym battle with barely any damage at all. We obtained the Hive Badge in a time of 28 minutes and 25 seconds because of all that grinding, but we still haven't taken a reset. So let's now see if things change as we engage the rival in battle for the second time. Now this battle is a very tricky one normally, but we do have decent defense and special defense, and with our level being 24 we are very over leveled for this particular part of the game. In fact, we have an 8 level advantage over the Quilava. It's still not quite a 2-shot with Nightshade. If we were 25 it would have been, but we're on 44 HP for the Zubat. We use another couple of Nightshades to knock it out and we are through the second rival battle in a time of under half an hour. And now that we've defeated Rival 2, we can start making our way through the forest proper. We'll get cuts from the charcoal maker, we'll chop down the tree, and we can make our way towards Goldenrod City. We take on a few trainers south of Goldenrod City, and one of them is youngster Samuel with his Sandshrew. We knock it out in a couple of hits and grow to level 25. At level 25 we say goodbye to the god-awful Constrict, and in its place we replace it with Leech Life. And very quickly before we enter Goldenrod City proper, we're going to catch our third HM friend. This one is Abra, who's going to be helping us out with Teleport, and with him safely caught along with the rest of them, we can go and grab the bike. The bike's going to let us move in double quick speed, and to pull the curtain back a little bit, this run was recorded well before the Girafarig run, so we don't actually need the bike in this because we have in the old Kanto routing. But if you do want to see the new Kanto routing, make sure you're subscribed. If you're subscribed, you'll get notifications for the live streams, and that is of course where you get to see a lot of runs in all their unedited glory. And now that we're in the National Park, we're going to teach Dig to our challenge Pokemon. That's not like me at all. However, this is one of very few instances where I thought Dig would actually be better than Hidden Power Ground. I know, it's spooky season. These strange things do happen sometimes, but for now we're going to make our way into our third gym together. This is of course Whitney's normal type gym. She might be a normal type specialist, but she's got rollout, so let's see how we get on. And of course she leads with Clefairy. Clefairy proves to be nothing but a nuisance at the beginning of this battle. Our Leech Life gets disabled and that is my plan out of the window, but then she swaggers me. And this is a stroke of luck that I really didn't expect. Swagger means that we deal a lot of damage to ourselves in confusion, however we are dealing over half damage each time Dig hits. It's just 2 hits to knock the Miltank out, we broke the rollout in its tracks, and we obtained the playing badge in a time of 36 minutes and 4 seconds. We'll grab the Squirts bottle and get out of Goldenrod City before Whitney demands a rematch. We'll annoy the Angry Tree and make our way into Ecruteak City. In Ecruteak, our first destination is going to be the Kimono Girls Dance Theatre, and as always I'll show you the battles against the evolutions we are weak to, and today we decide to play a little game of peekaboo with Flareon. We say peekaboo, I beat you, and after defeating all 5 Kimono Girls, we obtain the Surf HM. We're going to teach that along with Strength to Psyduck a little bit later on, and in the meantime we're going to make our way towards the Lake of Rage. At the Lake of Rage we'll grab the Hidden Rare Candy, and we're also going to get Hidden Power from the Meditating Man in the House. And our Hidden Power type today is Rock. We are directly targeting both Lance and Red Charizard with this Hidden Power type, so we'll have to see how that gets on a little bit later on. For now though, we're going to play Peekaboo with Rival 3. We'll start off Peekabooing on the Haunter and knock it out in one shot, and then he sends out Quilava. We're going to use the exact same strategy against the Quilava, and it's one last game of Peekaboo in this battle against the Magnemite. That brings us on to Zubat, who is immune to our Peekabooing ways, so we're just going to have to hit it with something else instead. A couple of Nightshades does the job, and we are through Rival 3 on our very first try. Time of 41 minutes to release the beasts. And with that, we can make our way into the 4th gym together. Our 4th gym is going to be Morty's Funhouse of Ghosts and Poisons, and that is brilliant for us because our Ariados is loving using Dig. So let's see how well Ariados can do against Morty. We start a Dig against the Ghastly and it's a simple one-shot. The exact same situation plays out against the level 21 Haunter, and that brings us on to Gengar. Gengar's Hypnosis misses us and we one-shot it with Dig, and the final Pokemon is Haunter. We're going to use the same strategy we've used for the rest of this battle. We knock it out in one shot, and we obtain the Fog Badge in 43 minutes and 19 seconds. And that is now half the Jotonian gym badges acquired. Let's start making our way up the Olivine Lighthouse. En route to the lighthouse, we're going to grab the Minceberry 4 Chucks battle. We're also going to grab Strength from the man in the cafe, and then we'll also get our steps in for the day. We climb to the very tippy top of the lighthouse where Jasmine is waiting for us. She tells us all about this very poor sick Ampharos who is looking suspiciously healthy to me, so we'll have to keep an eye on it. In the meantime, we'll get the rare candy in the lighthouse, dig our way out, and start sailing across the open seas. On the other side of the ocean, we have Cianwood City, and the first thing we'll do here is grab the secret potion from the man in the dodgy shop. After that, there's only one thing we've got to do, and that's take on our 4th gym leader together. This is Chuck, the fighting type specialist who leads with Primeape. Primeape shouldn't be an issue at all because we can dig it a couple of times. A Rage only deals 5 damage. It's all about us versus Poliwrath, and I learned something in this gym battle. I learnt that Mind Reader will hit you in your semi-invulnerable turns in moves like Fly and Dig. I cannot believe it's been over a year of me doing challenge runs, and this is the first time I've actually run a 2-turn move in a very long time. We actually ended up in a bit of a war of attrition against Chuck, and while we may only have taken 2 resets so far, both of those resets were a very long time in the making. Simply because of how long Hypnosis lasted for, we did eventually get through chipping away with Poison, and we grow to level 40 and obtain the Storm Badge in a time of 51 minutes and 42 seconds. We'll have a little chat with Chuck's wife, we'll obtain the Fly HM, and we're now going to do our sweep of Johto. This was a very weird run for me as well because I left my microphone recording. It isn't the best quality, but there was something I said during this run, and I think it really sums up my feelings towards Ariados compared to the beginning of the run where I did that intro completely nervous, to now where I was starting to really bond with Spidey. So let's take a listen to what was going on at this exact moment.
Am I getting a soft spot for this Pokemon? I think I might be. Oh dear, that wasn't the plan. I was to dislike it. Oh dear.
Apologies for the very dodgy audio quality there. I didn't actually have my microphone on my desk and I didn't realise I was recording, so that was all completely natural, but my feelings towards Ariados really have changed throughout the course of this run so far. And now that we've defeated the Ambushing Sisters, we'll go into the Goldenrod department store, we'll grab the Return TM just in time because we really are feeling a good bond, and we're going to teach it straight away. Nightshade really has come towards the end of its usable life cycle, so we'll replace it for a much better move, and we'll make our way back towards Mahogany Town. I'm pleased to inform you that absolutely nothing happened inside the underground, so we'll skip to the very end where Lance gives us the Whirlpool HM, and we'll make our way out of there. We're going to cycle north towards the guard at the gate at the Lake of Rage, and he's going to give us TM36, and we can all rejoice because TM36 contains Sludge Bomb. We no longer have to rely on that awful Poison Sting. We are getting a 6 times upgrade in our move power. We are losing 25 power points in the process, but I think that is more than worth it. And we're going to test out little old Ocarina Butt's new move against Price. He is our 6th gym leader together. He's an Ice type specialist, and he's going to lead with Seal. So the Seal comes out and we use Return to take care of it in a single one-shot thanks to a critical hit. We swap to Sludge Bomb for the Dugong and easily take care of that in one shot. What a fantastic thing it is having a good stab move. And then it's just a couple of returns on the Piloswine to knock it out. And we are through our 6th gym battle in a time of 1 hour and 36 seconds. And because we've already done our sweep of Johto, we can get out of here and we can go straight back to the lighthouse. At the tippy top of the lighthouse, Jasmine has been waiting for us. She distracts us by saying, "Look over there, Lance is catching a Pidgey." And before we know it, she's left. So we're going to have to hotfoot it into her gym and check her handbag. This is of course Jasmine, our 7th gym leader together. She is a Steel type specialist and she's going to lead with Magnemite. And honestly, Dig was such a revelation in this battle. It is of course 4 times super effective against her Magnemite line, and it also deals very good damage against the Steelix as well. In fact, because of a very lucky critical hit, we're able to two-shot Steelix. That just leaves a last Magnemite left to go that goes away with another game of Peekaboo, and we defeat Jasmine to earn the Mineral Badge in the time of 1 hour, 1 minute and 44 seconds. Let's now make our way back to Goldenrod City where we have another rival battle waiting for us. The rival generally gets easier with time and we have a much better learn set than we did last time. We didn't have any issues at Rival 3, let's see how we get on at Rival 4. He leads with Golbats, which could be scary, but Return easily one-shots it. And then his second Pokemon is Quilava. We don't even bother using Dig against the Quilava because Return is a one-shot, and then we do play a game of Peekaboo against the Magnemite. We come out on top, and here comes Haunter. We carry on hiding underground and hitting it when it least expects it to give it a scare, and before we know it, we're on his last Pokemon. A single return knocks out the Sneasel and we are through the fourth rival battle, and we can go to the very top of the radio tower. After defeating Team Rockets, we get a couple of rewards, the first one being the pink bow from Marie, and the second one is the radio card from the lady at the desk. And with both of those obtained, we can leave Goldenrod City once and for all, and start making our way towards Blackthorn City. Before we get to Blackthorn City, we have to navigate through the ice path, and there's only one useful item for us in here this time, and that is the Waterfall HM. So with that safely taught to Psyduck along with Whirlpool, we can go into the city proper and take on our 8th gym leader together. This is Claire, the Dragon-type specialist who leads with 3 very pesky Dragonair. We defeat Dragonair number 1 with a single return, and that brings us on to Dragonair number 2. That's another single return, and it's no different for Dragonair number 3. It's all about us versus this Kingdra. We swap to Sludge Bomb and take it deep down into the red, and that gets Claire caught in a healing loop. It's all over for Claire from here as 2 further Sludge Bombs knocks out the Kingdra, and we obtain the Rising Badge in a time of 1 hour 15 minutes and 7 seconds. And with that, we have all 8 Jotonian gym badges acquired, and I am mightily impressed with how well Ariados is doing so far. I really thought we'd have more than 2 resets heading into the final rival battle. It really goes to show that we might not have the best speed, but even some of these weaker Pokemon can use strategy to their advantage, and let's see how we get on against our final rival battle to see if we can keep it to just 2 resets going into the league. The first 2 Pokemon are no issues whatsoever, and we are on to Typhlosion. I use Sludge Bomb against Typhlosion to knock it out in one shot. We grow to level 57 and then we're going to have to dig against the Magneton. Magneton goes down in one shot, and then there are just 2 Pokemon left to go. We continue digging against the Haunter, and then we're suddenly only on the Kadabra. Kadabra has no physical defense, so a single return knocks it out, and we have defeated the rival for the very last time. So let's now make our way into the Pokemon League. We'll heal up Ocarina Butt after our trek through Victory Road, and we'll say thank you to the HM friends. So it's thank you to Kenya, to Abra, to Psyduck and to Paris. You've all been a great help in the Johto region. Get yourselves some much deserved rest as Ariados prepares to take on the league. And while we're doing our league prep, we're going to say goodbye to Spiderweb, and we're going to say hello to Hidden Power Rock in its place. So now let's take a look at our stats. We are level 57 with 179 HP, we're holding the Poison Barb with Return, Dig, Hidden Power Rock and Sludge Bomb. We have 148 in attack, 123 in defense, 115 in the specials but only 91 in speed. Will those stats be enough to see us through the league? Let's find out as we engage our first league member in battle. This is Will, a Psychic-type trainer who leads with Xatu. We outspeed the first Xatu and knock it out with a single return, so Xatu number 2 comes out. We somehow outspeed that as well, and we are on to Jinx. Jinx has paper-thin defences, so it goes down straight away, and here comes Executor. We swap to Sludge Bomb for safety against the Executor, and his final Pokemon is Slowbro. We carry on the Sludge Bombing against the Slowbro to take it deep into the yellow. We poison it, but that doesn't matter because we can finish it off with Return, and we're through Will on our very first attempt in 1 hour 21 minutes and 25 seconds. It's Ariados versus Ariados next as we take on Koga in battle, but we're 18 levels higher than it and we have Return. So that was a very simple one-shot, as was the Venomoth, and we are on to Crobat. Hidden Power Rock comes into play with Crobat, taking it deep into the red, and that gets Koga caught in a healing loop. Another Hidden Power takes it very close to fainting, and we finish it off with a Return. And that now brings us onto Koga's Wall. This is Fortress, and we really don't have anything good for Fortress at all. If we use Dig, he's going to use Protect, so we are going to have to chip away at it with Return. We do need to time our moves carefully though, and when we thought it was going to go boom, we went underground, we knocked it out, and then we dealt significant turn 1 damage against the Muck. We finish it off on our next turn and we are through Koga in a time of 1 hour 22 minutes and 25 seconds. Let's now move on to Bruno, the fighting type specialist who leads with Old Spinny Legs. Old Spinny Legs cannot withstand a sludge bomb and neither can the boxing gloves of doom. That brings us on to Onyx, and once again we're going to struggle a little bit. Any high defense rock type is always going to be a bit of a thorn in our side. This Onyx is particularly annoying though because it has Sandstorm, and that means we're going to be taking passive damage for the rest of this battle. It gets incredibly frustrating as well when we range the Machamp, he critical hits us and knocks us out, so we are back to square one. We really just have to hope for a little bit of luck with the damage range against the Machamp. I stick on the Poison Barb just to be sure, and after a bit of a carbon copy of the beginning of the rest of the battle, we knock the Onyx out, and we are back onto this pesky Machamp. We use Sludge Bomb just like we did before, and this time we knock it out. That means we're on 139 HP for the Hitmonlee, we knock it out in a single turn, and we are through Bruno in 123.43. Let's move on to Karen, the Dark-type specialist who leads with Umbreon. It's a shame we don't have any good Bug-type moves, because this would have made this battle an awful lot easier. We get through the Umbreon though with a combination of Dig and Sludge Bomb, and we are on to Houndoom. Houndoom could have been an issue if we didn't one-shot it because of its fire type, and then we also managed to one-shot Vileplume. That means we're not getting paralysed in this battle and we can turn our attention to Gengar. The worst Gengar seems to be able to do is swear at us, so we dig underground to hide from it, and we knock it out on turn 2. We're comfortably in the green for the Murkrow and we knock that out in a single hit, and we are through Karen in a time of 1 hour 24 minutes and 29 seconds. And that's all the league members defeated. There's just one obstacle between us and the Hall of Fame. It's Lance the Liar who leads with Gyarados. And this battle is the entire reason we have Hidden Power Rock. Gyarados is a simple one-shot with Sludge Bomb, but things aren't quite that simple against the Aerodactyl. We take a lot of damage from a rock slide, but we knock it out in a single Hidden Power Rock, and we take advantage of being 4 times super effective against the Charizard. That brings us on to the final 3 Dragonite. The level 50's Fire Blast misses, and that means we can 2-shot it, and there are just 2 Pokemon left to go. Disaster strikes though against Dragonite number 2 as we get paralysed. We're only on 72 HP for the final Pokemon. Twister deals a little bit of damage, but we get outsped and we get knocked out by Hyper Beam. That was devastating. To get knocked out by an accuracy roll on the final turn of Lance's final Pokemon is gutting. It means we're right back to square one. We're going to have to redo the rest of this battle and hope for the same luck we had on attempt number 1. We are back onto the 3 Dragonite now. Hidden Power takes it into the yellow, but he uses Safeguard. That means we're on 127 for the final 2 Dragonite. We get Thunder Wave, but we're holding the Paralysed Cure Berry. That means we have 130 health and full speed for this final Dragonite. We do get paralysed again, but he locks himself into Hyper Beam. We knock it out on turn number 2, and we are through Lance in a time of 1 hour 26 minutes and 21 seconds. And our Hall of Fame time is 1 hour 26 minutes and 37 seconds. And that is the first half of the run completed. We've got another 8 gym badges plus the red fight left to come, so don't you dare go anywhere. Kanto is next. And we are back where it all began outside our home in Newbark Town, and Professor Elm has a phone call for us. He's going to give us the SS ticket to get us out of the country quick, sharp and in a hurry, and we're going to oblige. But in order to get out of the country, we need to retrieve our HM friends. So it's a very warm welcome back to Kenya, to Abra, to Psyduck and to Paris. They all had a lovely little rest in the Costa del PC box, and they're ready to help out in the latter part of the run. They help us obtain the final 2 rare candies in the Johto region, and of course the first thing we do in Kanto is the last thing we do in Johto. We're going to get another rare candy, this time for the chairman of the Pokemon Fan Club. And with that safely tucked away in the bag along with the rest of them, we can get on with our Gym Leader gauntlet around Kanto. Before we take on any Gym Leader though, we're going to pick up a spare Psychic TM. We do learn it at level 63, but it's always nice to have another in reserve. And before taking on our first Cantonian Gym Leader, we're going to grab the leftovers from the cafe, the PP up from the bush, and then we're going to take on Erica's Gym Trainers, and it's against Picnic Tanya that we grow to level 63. Like I mentioned just a moment ago, at level 63 we learned Psychic, so we're going to say goodbye to Dig because we no longer need to get out of any caves, and it's hello to Psychic in its place. And with that, we are ready to take on the Gauntlet. Because this was recorded well before the Kanto rerouting, we're going to start with Erica, and then finish off with Janine and Blue. And it's becoming a little bit of a tradition on this channel to sit down and have a chat with all you lovely people as we go through the Kanto Gauntlet, and it's no different this time. I want to talk about the learning process that goes into a challenge run, because I am currently actively learning both Pokemon Fire Red, because my original routing was a little bit garbage, along with Pokemon Emerald. And I would really like to know if you all want to see the process on some live streams. It really is quite a daunting task learning a routing for any of the Pokemon challenge runs. I would say that Generation 1 is one of the easiest, Generation 2 is very intuitive, but when you get to a game like Pokemon Emerald it is very difficult. There's a lot of backtracking involved and a lot of optimising of movements. I am currently trying to plan out my teleport spots because we're going to be catching an Abra, and I'm really hoping that that will save us a lot of time. And for a little bit of perspective, I started practicing my Johto runs back in December 2021, but the first video didn't come out until August 2022. So that was around about 9 months worth of practice before I felt confident uploading my first video. It really is a very lengthy process, and I have an awful lot of admiration for any runner who is able to competently go around multiple regions in multiple games. Having done the process myself, it is very, very difficult. And now I'm going to let you all into a tiny little secret. The Shuckle run we have here on the channel is not my slowest ever challenge run. In practice, I had a run go for 6 hours, 24 minutes and 6 seconds. This was way back in December 2021. It was my second ever timed challenge run, and it was a Lickitung who finished at level 94 with 255 resets. That is still my hardest run to date, and I really wish I'd have kept the footage of that run, because it really was very difficult indeed. But it's just like with anything in life, practice makes perfect. Now, almost 2 years later, I reckon I could get Lickitung around about the 2.5 hour mark. Lickitung is still a very difficult Pokemon to run because it's got abysmal stats, but I'm sure we'll come up with a very good strategy when we eventually do that run. And now I am very much ready to start getting some terrible run times back in Fire Red and in Pokemon Emerald, so please do let me know if you want to see them streamed, because I will be more than happy to do it. It could be a lot of fun together. In the meantime though, after defeating Brock in a time of 1:39.14, we had a little chat with 3Drill, we then have a conversation with Blue about this pesky volcano that's erupted, we'll grab our penultimate rare candy, and we'll start sailing east towards the Seafoam Islands. In the Seafoam Islands, we have Blaine waiting for us. Blaine is our 14th gym leader together. He's a fire-type specialist who's going to lead with that very, very slow but sweet Magcargo. We still have Hidden Power Rock on our learn set, and that's going to make this battle a bit of a breeze. We one-shot the Magcargo, we one-shot the Bumhead Fireduck, and we are on to the Rapidash with full health. We outspeed the Rapidash, we knock it out in a single hit, and we are through Blaine in a time of 1 hour 40 minutes and 31 seconds. Our penultimate Janine is Gym Leader. She is everyone's favourite pushover who leads with a Crobat that's already fainted. We swap to return for the Venomoth and knock it out in a single hit, and here comes Weezing. Weezing's a nice and simple one-shot with return, so she tries again with another one. The exact same scenario plays out, and it's Ariados versus Ariados. Much like her father's, we knock it out in a single hit, and we defeat Janine in a time of 1 hour 41 minutes and 11 seconds. And now it's time for our final gym leader. This is Blue, who leads with Pidgeot. And this could prove to be very tricky, you know. This Blue battle really is like the worst of Karen and the worst of Bruno combined. Not only do we have a rock ground type with huge defense and sandstorm, we also have a very fast fire type to contend with as well, and it's against this Ariados I was a little bit stumped. We take huge damage from Flamethrower, and because we don't outspeed Arcanine, we really cannot take advantage of the healing loop. In these situations, Ariados' weaknesses really do show. That lack of speed means we're always going to take another hit from Arcanine. We're only on 10 HP growing to 23 for the Alakazam. The Alakazam outspeeds and knocks us out, and I think we have no choice but to get on the grind. Because we are before the red fights, we cannot use any of our rare candies, so we're going to have to resort to trainer battles instead. Just like with the Shuckle run, I will be mightily impressed if any of you can figure out my routing I took to do the grinding, and if anyone gets it right, I will let them know in the comments. But we grow to level 73 after having another couple of attempts in the interim, and I really wish we gained a level off Rival 6, because this is the first time we've done it in a challenge run. We're now at level 73 though, and let's see if we fare any better against Blue this time. It's a one-shot on the Pidgeot and we are back onto Rhydon. We use Psychic against the Rhydon, but we take big damage from a Rock Slide. We're on 171 as the Arcanine comes out, and we now outspeed. Hidden Power Rock is now a one-shot, and that gives us enough health to survive at least one Psychic from Alakazam. We get taken down to Clickety-Click 66 as we knock it out in a single hit, and we are now at least going to see his final two Pokemon. We use Hidden Power Rock against the Gyarados to take it deep into the red, his Hydro Pump misses, and this is the break we've been looking for. We outspeed the Gyarados as he gets caught in a healing loop. That's going to get us comfortably back in the green for the Executor, but it's all over for Blue from here. We just need to use one final Sludge Bomb to knock it out in one hit, and we have obtained our final badge, the Earth Badge, in a time of 1 hour, 51 minutes and 51 seconds. What beautiful symmetry with that time there, and we still have a chance of getting under 2 hours. It's going to be tight because I think Red is going to be very difficult, but we cannot give up hope yet. Please get your positive thoughts out for Ariados, as I say that this is Red. He is our final challenge of the run, and he's going to lead with Pikachu. Instantly we have a problem. Pikachu outspeeds us. Pikachu has 171 speed, we have 137 speed, so we are gonna hold the Quick Claw, because if we don't outspeed the Pikachu, we are absolutely not outspeeding Espeon. And to make matters worse, Red's AI sees the Bug type, so that is going to leave Espeon until last. We get through the Snorlax with Sludge Bomb with a Poison, and then Venusaur sets up Sunny Day. We are going to have to rely now on a Quick Claw proc against the Charizard, because that Charizard's Flamethrower will knock us out in one shot. That's exactly what happened at level 74, let's try again at level 77. Once again we don't outspeed the Pikachu, so we have to do the Charm Shuffle to get us an attempt at Red, and then once we're through the Pikachu, Snorlax starts misbehaving. It body slams us twice and we range it, and I decide after getting paralysed that enough is enough. We're going to use another 3 rare candies and try again at level 80. We don't get charmed by the Pikachu and we knock it out in a single Sludge Bomb, and we are back onto Snorlax. Snorlax is now 2 hits range with Sludge Bomb, and with it using Amnesia we are on full health for Venusaur. We Sludge Bomb the Venusaur to take it into the yellow, and yet again he's Sunny Days. That means we need the Quick Claw proc for the Charizard, which we get, and because we have Hidden Power Rock, that is a simple one-shot. That leaves us on full health for the Espeon. Espeon uses Psychic to deal massive damage. We retaliate with Sludge Bomb, we get a critical hit, and there is just one Pokemon left to go. It's Blastoise, which we outspeed, the Blizzard misses, we knock it out in 2 shots, we grow to level 81, and we defeat Red in 156.40 without using all 10 of our rare candies. And I am so proud of Ariados. We got a time on page 2 of the leaderboard in 47th place in between Kingler and Arcanine, and we actually had one of our quickest red splits to date. It wasn't record breaking, but I think for the type of Pokemon we were running, it was very spectacular. It does mean there's no change at the top of the leaderboard, and Meganium is now heading up page 3, with Paw Shuckle lingering down in 66th place. But with that, we are done. So I'm going to say thank you all so much for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure as always. If you've enjoyed this video, please do leave it a like. If you want to see more content just like this, then click the subscribe button. And if you've got anything at all to say, leave it in the comments down below. But until next time, I'll say thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all very, very soon.